see any more advertisements for singles mixers, singles events, note to friends, if you see any more advertisements for singles mixers, singles events, uh, matchmaker, speed dating, any of these type of events going forward, please refrain from sending me any more of those links. Please and thank you. So I'm going to tell you guys why I'm opting out of any more singles events whatsoever. So a few months back, one of my friends sends me a link to a singles like mixer event. It's by Jigsaw. Some of you guys may have seen those advertisements because I believe they do them in various cities. I am located in St. Louis, Missouri. It was going to be held at a local brewery not far from my house. So I thought, yeah, let's give it a try. It's been a while since I've been to a singles event. So that Saturday, the day of the event, I'm up, ready to go. I shower, get dressed. I have on a nice brown dress. It's fitted, fit me perfect. And I got on my jewelry, all my stuff on. Got my hair done, everything. Smelling good, perfume, the whole bit. Which I thought was an interesting venue to have for an event like this, simply because breweries typically have beer only, at least the ones that I've been to. So I thought that was kind of an interesting space. But I'd already bought the ticket, so here I am. I get to the event, and ladies, you guessed it. I guess it's the same everywhere you go. Obviously, the women outweigh the men. It was probably maybe 8 guys, and I'd say there was about 20 women. Out of all of those men, only 2 of them were black. One came in like a track outfit, which kind of disqualified him for me because I felt like I put a lot of time and effort into getting ready and making sure I looked good. He looked like he had just came from an errand. So for me, right away, I was uninterested in him. The other gentleman was a much older gentleman, and I'd honestly say probably early 60s, if not, late 50s. But he was dressed well. He had on a nice blazer, nice slacks, nice shoes. He looked nice. Here's the big thing that I didn't like about the event. If you've been to any Jigsaw event, I don't know what your experience has been, but for ours, we stood around awkwardly just looking around and waiting for the host who was supposed to be there with games and icebreakers and things like that would make it easier for us to mix and mingle with one another. We kept waiting, and everyone that came in, we're expecting this person to be the host, and it would just be another person who was attending the event. 40 minutes literally goes by. And some lady comes in stating that she's the host, but said that she got called in last minute, and she didn't have any of the supplies. She had no games, no icebreakers, no nothing. So essentially, she tells us to just keep doing what we're doing. So everybody's trying to find ways to like talk and get to know one another. So we're asking each other questions. And to be honest with you, I really just didn't feel like anyone out of the crowd I felt a true connection with. Now, mind you, the older gentleman was actually sitting off at a table by himself. Everyone else was kind of sitting around 1 or 2 tables. I was kind of making my rounds with the women because it was obviously way more women than it was men. So as I'm making my way around,
There you go. You already hear what's happening and you already know where it's going and what's wrong with it. You're done. It's finito for you. You're washed. So if a guy comes in wearing a tracksuit and it looked like he just came in for doing errands, then maybe you need to approach him and and be as desperate as you look and as desperate as you are and try to, get in a conversation with him because it doesn't matter what he's wearing at this point. You can't get a guy for Nathan. And you're still being picky about these guys. This one is wearing a tracksuit. This one is in the 60s. You can't be picky anymore. Those days are done.
You're done.
Those days are done for you. She looked like she's pushing 50. Those days are done. And you're done. Also, when you need games, you need for icebreakers? You need board games? What are you kids? No, you see some guys, you gotta approach them. It's more of y'all than them. That guy in his 60s shouldn't be by himself. They should be jumping on him. But y'all believe y'all have these options that you don't have. And let's keep it a buck. If it's some Brads in there, there's some Beckys in there, right? So if there's Beckys in there amongst the women, guess who they're talking to? They're talking to Brad. So the remainder of the Keishas that's there, you're gonna flock in with them because in that bubble, it's safe. Remember in the prior mix of videos I made, I talked about the bubble. The bubble is what keeps them from facing reality. So the guy in the tracksuit, the guy in his 60s, those were the black men, right? So what did she try to do? She tried to go for the Brads, and they ain't checking her. They ain't checking for her. So what did she do after that? Go with the bubble. And that's with the other women. Let's finish this.
Around the table and talking to different ladies. The older gentleman comes over to me and he asks if I'd like to join him at his table. That's really nice of him. In most cases, men are a little uncomfortable coming up to a woman to, attempt to talk to her, especially when she's surrounded by other women. So I really thought that that was dope that he was willing to do that. So I quickly finish up my conversation with the lady that I'm speaking to, and I go over to the table to join him. He asked me, did I want something to drink? Again, because they didn't have wine or anything else, they only served beer, and I don't drink beer. I declined the drink, but I told him that I told him I appreciated the offer. So we begin to talk. He begins, asking a couple questions. I begin asking him questions. And before I could get comfortable with this conversation, it takes a turn. Within 5 minutes, this man is telling me about like all of his issues, all of his problems, how a lot of people, including his mother, thinks that, he's a little overbearing and that the way that he communicates is a little harsh and that he doesn't know how to talk to people. He also starts to tell me how him and his daughter have this like really tumultuous relationship and they haven't gotten along in quite some time. And at this current time, they are actually not on speaking terms. I don't remember exactly how old his daughter was. I want to say she was maybe somewhere between 12 and 14. I do remember she was a teenager, but a young teenager. He's telling me how her mom has filled her head with all these different things and all these terrible things about him, and that's the reason why they don't have a great relationship. And he proceeds to tell me how he thinks she should be the one to come to him and try to make amends and get them two on the same page again, which I thought was odd. As old as you are, you're expecting a child, teenager or not, but a child to come and mend a relationship with you as the parent. So obviously, we are already at.
This is why they done. This is why they done. So he's open and honest about what's going on in his life to let you know exactly what you're signing up for. And you can say you can say to yourself, "Hey, you know what? Maybe it is a lot going on for you. Maybe you don't want to be a part of whatever's going on with him, right?" You can actually say that. But instead of listening and instead of, appreciating how honest he is, you're judging him. He's not judging you for being old. You, old, looking for a date, looking for a guy. He's not judging you for that. He's not judging you. I'm pretty sure you're going to tell him your problems later on. He's telling you up front. You're telling the world your problems right now. Do you see how this works? She's telling the world right now, people she don't even know her problems. So are we allowed to judge you? Oh yeah, you're going to get judged now. Yeah, you definitely getting judged because you judged that man and he was just being honest, and you automatically looked at him and said, well, you supposed to be doing this, you supposed to be doing that, when he's trying to form a connection with you. And this is the reason why they at the bottom. This is the reason why they're at the bottom. This is the reason why she's pushing 50 and no man in sight. The guy come over there to the table, asks you to come to his table, very polite, very nice to you, and you're having a conversation and you're talking, and maybe it's a little too early for him to start talking about his. Maybe it is, but you don't judge him. You just say, you know what, maybe this is a little too much. Maybe you tell him that. Tell him, hey, hey, this is a little too much. Let's just switch up the topic. Let's switch up. So what are your hobbies? What are you into? At least try to do that. This is why Becky is becoming a better option. This is why Maria is becoming a better option, because they don't judge. They don't judge. They listen. Maybe he was looking for someone to listen. The first thing you do is judge this guy in his 60s. And no. If you have children, right, and you've been a good parent, and that child decides to act up, and you're just sick and tired of it because the child may be spoiled, maybe the child thinks that he or she is entitled. No, you've been a parent. You've been the one always taking care of them. No, if they want to remain under if they want to remain close to you, if they want to remain, or have an open connection, yeah, maybe the child has to grow up, right? And when I mean the child, the teenager or whoever his daughter or son is, maybe that child of his has to grow up mentally and emotionally, and you got to approach your father, because the father is tired of lending out a hand, tired of extending a hand, and every time he extend a hand, because of your mother, you giving him the short stick, you giving him an attitude like your mother, and he's tired of it. So he's like, you know what? I'll wait until she extend her hand. I'll wait until she gets a little older. Maybe down the line she realized what was going on, but until then, I'm falling back. You automatically judged him. This is crazy.
Already at red flag number two. So at this point, I already know where this is going and I don't choose to go with it. So I excuse myself. I go to the bathroom. I text one of my friends. And at first, I'm going to have one of my friends text me to try to get me out of this situation or call me. But I was like, you know what? I'm going to be an adult about this. I'm not going to make up any reason why I have to leave. I'm simply just going to tell him that I have to go. So I get myself together. I go back out to the table and I'm like, hey, I appreciate the conversation. It's been nice getting to know you, but I need to go ahead and get out of here. So he then asked me, well, hey, do you think that we can exchange numbers? I told him, unfortunately, I'd rather not. Although I enjoyed getting to know you and all that, I don't really feel that there's a romantic connection. So I'd have to decline to give you my number. I'm surprised he actually takes this well. He says, okay, that's fine. As I'm gathering my purse and getting ready to.
This is a dig at black men. You're surprised he takes it well? What you was expecting? To go upside your head? What was you expecting him to do? Most men take rejection well. It's y'all that don't take rejection well. Let's go.
Ready to walk away from the table, he asks, hey, can I get a picture? I'm like, get a picture? And he's like, yeah. So I'm standing just a little ways away from the table, not very far, but I'm confused in a moment. I don't know if he wants me to take a picture with him or he wants to take a picture of me. Either way, I thought it was weird because all we had was this quick conversation and encounter at this event. I'm telling you that I don't want to exchange numbers, so I don't really know why you'd want to leave from this event with a picture of me. But against my own best judgment, I agreed to take the picture. So since I'm standing a little ways away, I just kind of smile and pose to take the picture. And he says, "Oh, you want to take the picture alone?" And I'm like, in my mind, I'm thinking, I don't really want to take the picture at all. But I'm just trying to be nice and oblige your request. So I say, "Oh, you want to take a picture with me?" And he's like, "Yeah, yeah, let's take a picture together." So again, I don't really want to do this, but against my better judgment, I stand a little bit closer to him. He holds the phone out. He takes the picture of us. I walk away thinking, like, well, that was odd. Why would he want to take a picture with me if we're not exchanging numbers? So I quickly shake his hand and I get the heck out of there. Later on, I'm at home watching TV, just flicking through the channels. And someone that I know, not necessarily well, but we're Facebook friends, she reaches out to me through Facebook Messenger and she says, "Hey, girl, is this you?" And sends me a picture of me and the guy from the dating event earlier in the day. I was immediately mortified. I said, "Where did you get this picture?" And she's like, "Oh, I follow this guy on Facebook. He posted this picture along with a picture of him at his home by himself. And when he
Lying.
Poor, 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 poor.
Lying. Let's 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 break this down, black men. This is a guy in his 60s. If you know men in their 60s, especially black men in their 60s, they're not really on social media. They're really not. And if they are, they're not really active. And if they are active, they're only active with their family members. It's a totally different generation. Totally different generation. If he is on Facebook, he probably have no more than 200, 300 friends. And he knows them all. Family members, friends. He's not what they usually would call lit on Facebook, lit on Instagram. He doesn't care about any of that. So when she said they took a picture together, I already knew where this was going. So your friend who follows him, why would she be following him? He's 61. Her friend is a Keisha. What will she be following a 61-year-old man who's not in entertainment, who's not in any form of media? Why would she be following him? Because she's lying. This right here is a lie. This is a lie. You were mortified. This is a lie. This is sick. This whole thing is a lie. Now, you know, the part where she said that he was over there talking about his kids and that, now that's a lie. Yeah, that's a lie. That's a lie. You see, black men, when you listen to somebody and you automatically realize it's a lie, everything they said before is a lie now. Everything they said before is a lie. Let's go. Let's go.
when he posted both of those pictures, he said that he went out on a date or something and he had a good time. I'm like, what? Is that what people are really doing nowadays? Like, has it gotten that bad where we're like, where we have to put on this facade that we went on a date with someone? Going to a singles dating event and going on the date is two different things. And at that moment is when I realized how me being nice worked completely against me. Because
So you were nice to a black man, and since you were nice to him, it went completely awry because he was what you were saying, talking about his trauma, and he asked you for a picture, and he posted the picture and said he was on a date. Now, let's just say he did that. But black men, let's just say he did that. Is it that is it that drastic? Is it that bad for her to throw him under the bus if this really happened? Even though it did not. Is it that bad? He didn't disrespect you. He asked you for a picture. You agreed to a picture, and he took the picture and he posted it, and he said he was out on a date. Now, yeah, that's a stretch. That's definitely a stretch. But to somebody in his 60s, if he don't usually get out, if he hasn't been on a date in a while, and a lot of times if a guy in his 60s is out there hitting the field, that's because whoever he was with, his wife either is they just recently had a divorce, or he's a widower. That's what usually happens with guys in their 60s. So even if that happened, is it that bad for her to throw him under the bus? No, it's not. It's really not. It's really not. But this is a lie though. This is a lie. Soon as she said, soon as she say, soon as she, pardon me, I was just reading something. Soon as she said that her friend uh texted her a picture and said that, is this you, because she followed this man. This, not your friend follows this random guy, right? Think about the coincidence, black man. Her friend follows this random 61-year-old guy. Why would she be following him? And how is it a coincidence that it's your friend? This is a lie. And this is, again, it's another dig at black men. This is what really happened. She went to a singles mixer and she was unsuccessful, and the men there didn't pick her. So instead of leaving and realizing that it's you're the problem, you just had to throw the only two black men that was there under the bus. You noticed that, right? There was a black guy there with a tracksuit, and there was a older black man in his 60s that approached her, which is a lie. This is all a lie. So two black men there, and those are the only men you threw under the bus. She had nothing negative to say about any of the Brads or Hectors or Lees, whoever was there. And this happens often. Just throwing black men under the bus that had nothing to do. You know what this really is? This is retaliation for being washed. Washed. You're an average looking Keisha, below average, and now you out here upset because life passed you by and you're trying to regain some of it back, and it's too late. And instead of just keeping it moving, you had to just put out this video to throw digs at black men because you're a failure. This is insane. Let's go.
Because why would this man go and post this picture like me and him were booed up? Like me and him went on an actual date? I was like, what the heck? Like, why are people why are people this weird? So I ended up telling one of my peoples about it, and they're like, what? Like, they end up actually reaching out to him and asking him to take down the picture. And do you know this guy argued her up and down? He said he wasn't going to take the picture down and even tried spewing like different insults at her because she came at him
Here we
asking him to
go.
take the picture
Here we
down. And I
go.
was like, for one, and what a bullet I dodged there, right? But for two, why are people this weird? So, needless to say, you will not see me at any more singles events, singles mixers, single networking event, speed dating. I don't care what it is. If it has singles in the title of it, I don't want to go.
First of all, she couldn't pay me to take a picture with her in the street. She couldn't pay me. She couldn't come up to me and say, here's a couple of $100. I just want one photo. No, thank you. You keep your money. I'm caked up. I don't need your money. I don't need your money. And you don't have it. Give you monopoly money before, after you take the picture. The nerve of the most broke, the nerve of the least married, the nerve of the most evicted, most debt, the nerve of the most repos to try to throw digs at black men because you're a failure. Because you're a failure. That's all this is. This is just anger at black men. We get this all the time, man. We get this all the time. They go to mixers, and when they go to mixers, it doesn't work out for them because nobody is checking for you. Nobody's checking for you. Nobody. She made up this story because if it didn't work out, here's the thing: if nothing worked out with the black men, right? That you didn't. How come nothing? How come the story ended there? How come the story didn't end with you and a Brad? How come the story didn't end with you and a Hector? Huh? How come it didn't end there? Because there was no Hector. There was no Brad that approached them. There was no black man that approached them, that approached her either. You see, as soon as she started talking about this 61-year-old man or whatever, I said, okay, let's hear what she had to say. All right. And even when she was saying didn't sound terrible. I'm like, all right, that don't sound terrible. I mean, I could see if you put off by it, but it doesn't sound terrible. But then I realized that what she was doing, she wasn't just she wasn't like she wasn't trying to explain her dating situation, what happened there. Soon as she said that, she took a picture and she thought it was weird, even though she agreed to it. Soon as she said her friend hit her up and said that her friend follows this guy, immediately I knew she was lying. Immediately. Because I knew where this was going with the picture, but I just wanted to see how she was going to throw the scenario of how the picture ended up on social media and her finding out about it. What is the odds of her going to a random, think about it, black man, what's the odds of her going to a random mixer, meeting a guy, right? And her friend is following this 61-year-old guy. First of all, we know these Keishas, they want to be young again. They're not following guys in their 60s. They're not. They're following they're following young dudes, rappers in their 20s. They're following these young Keishas, these Glorillas and Sexy Red. Why would they be following a old man? So we knew that was a lie. Your friend ain't. And even if she was, what was it? What is it that he does for you to be following him? Just think about it, black man. What is it? Let's say her friend. What would she be following him for? He's 61. What is he? A painter? What is he? You just happen to just be following him? What is he? What, he's the weatherman, the neighborhood weather. What is he? It's a lie. It's a lie. Oh, so my friend hit me up and I was mortified that he put this. And you know why she said that? Because she tried to make it seem like she was the hot one there. And this guy was just, so overwhelmed with her beauty. We're looking at her right now. Who's so thirsty to take a picture with her? We're looking at her right now. Come on, knock it off. Knock it off, man. Try to, this inflated ego for no reason and then just throwing this random black man under the bus. It was just a dig on our image. And this needs to be called out more, man. This needs to be called out. She's done out here. That's all. Finito. Finished.
You big dummy.